Hello, how are we doing today, everybody? I hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday, and happy Father's Day to everybody out there. It is a big, big day for all the fathers, so hopefully you guys are all celebrating with your dads. If you don't have a dad, if your mom was your father figure, hopefully you celebrate with them. You know, whoever you have in your life that's a dad figure, here it is. Happy Father's Day. Scotty, your father, we're both fathers, so big day for us, right? You're muted. Back-to-back shows.
It's almost like I've never done this before. You have to hit the on switch on the mic or it doesn't work. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I guess that's how it works. Plug switches and
seems silly. It seems like the mic should just figure out that I'm trying to talk and know now to turn on. But I digress. Yeah, no. Father's Day, great day today for all you fathers out there. We have dads. We're both dads. Pretty special day for everybody. So hope everyone had a good Father's Day and enjoyed it with their, whether that's their father or their dad themselves or a combo of the both. It's a good day. So I had to work a little today, but got home and got to hang with the fam and stuff like that. So how was your Father's Day?
It was good, man. It was good. Just, got a couple breakfast burritos this morning and hung out with some of the fam this afternoon before everyone went to the pool, and then just kind of relaxed and kind of kicked it a little bit. So it's been a pretty good day. Hopefully all of you guys, again, are having a great Father's Day as well. It was a nice day out here in Colorado for it, so if it's not that great out where you are, hopefully, you found some way to get through that. But, you guys are here. You're trying to get caught up on all the news on this Father's Day. So we're going to be hitting you with this Father's Day special with all the updates. We got Game 7's left and right over the course of the weekend. We have a lot to catch up on. We have a big hockey game tonight that's kind of taken a weird turn in that series. So that's kind of an interesting one. And then, yeah, we're just so much to cover. This could be our best show ever, Scotty.
Each one gets better than the other, the previous. So I don't see how this isn't our best show, to be honest. Thursday, we're in a rhythm. We're feeling good. We're ready to go.
Yeah, no, we're off and running here. So want to give just a little bit of a shout out to a couple people that were on our follow radar again. Hopefully we get 666 back, followed on our last Sunday show. So obviously big Euro, because we're a Euro 2020 fan. So we're going to be covering a lot of that tonight, catching up on all of the details on the Euro 2020. And then we have Beatbot from Facebook who popped in and gave us a nice little follow on that. Because, again, guys, we're streaming on 3 different platforms. We're multi-streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So make sure that when you're going through on any of those platforms and you're checking our channel out, hit that follow button. It means a lot. It doesn't cost you anything, and we appreciate it a ton. So thank you guys so much for all the support. You know what's even bigger, Scotty, that we love even more than the follows?
I didn't know I loved anything more than a follow. Maybe the chat? Maybe a little chatter?
It's a little chat. And that's what we want to see all you guys, because we have a lot of stuff that we talk about on these shows. We have our viewers' choice tonight, and that means throughout the night, we have a special segment for it, but throughout the night, if you guys want to talk about anything, that could be sports related, life related, anything. I mean, we can talk about anything. This is your show. It's not our show, it's your show, because you guys are here enjoying it, and we are here for you. So we want to talk about whatever it is on your mind and make sure that you guys have a voice and it's heard. So again, we hit that chat up. We love you a lot for that. Just doing that. So appreciate you popping by and checking us out. So yeah, we have a lot to cover here tonight. Now, Scotty, we have, right now, currently a game going on, Game 7 of the Hawks-Sixers. This game is tight right now, 70-69 at the moment. It's definitely popping off right now.
I'm from the future because it's 72-69. No big deal. Now 74-69. It's going wild for Atlanta. Atlanta on the road, 4 seed that no one believed in. Or actually, they're the 5 seed, actually, I believe.
Yep.
On the road now, it keeps growing, 76-69.
Oh, no.
They have really shut off. I don't know if Mayday's in the chat. We got a guy who follows a lot, who's a bit, lives in Philadelphia, big Sixers fan, along with all the Philly teams. This one, all of a sudden, like it was tight, and it's still a 7-point game. They got another quarter to play, but stretch it out. It's looking a little scary if you're a Sixers fan. Like, both of us felt like this series, when it was 2-1 Philly, was kind of a wrap. Like, it was done. And Philly lost back-to-back games they shouldn't have. Pulled out a close one in Game 6, and here we are in Game 7. All the pressure really is on Philadelphia. And I think that's where this stems and why they're behind. Like, they got 69 points at the end of the third. Like, they're not exactly... I think they feel a little bit of the pressure. Offensively, they're shooting 43% from the field, 35% from 3. No one really. I mean, Embiid's been fine with 26 of 12 from the field, a lot from the line. Other than that, Tobias Harris has 17, but he's on 16 attempts. So we'll dive into this some more, but as it continues, and actually they hit a 2 right before the end of the quarter. So 76-71. Headed to the fourth, Atlanta on top in a Game 7, which I hope can compete with the Game 7 we had last night, which was a phenomenal finish.
Man, we've had fantastic games all over the place, which if you watch that Bucks and Brooklyn game last night, man, what a game. Rachel in chat, backwards hats for Father's Day. Yeah, we're going big on Father's Day. That's like, by the way, like, have you seen? I've seen like a bunch of things on like Twitter and Instagram and all these things about like the memes of dads on Father's Day, just like all in a group walking out of the house, just don't give a F about anything else, and like the women, all the wives are sitting on the couch and they're just got their golf clubs and they don't have to worry about anything on Father's Day. It's like that free pass day. I mean, I didn't have that today. Obviously we're, it's kind of low key for us today over here in our house, but, and you were working, so it was kind of, didn't have that mentality today, but still a fun day. But yeah, rocking the backwards hats, just, got
the first show I've ever rocked a backwards hat on. So kind of a big deal. We've been going for over 6 months now, and here we are. First time I've rocked a backwards hat. It's not a big deal, but we should talk about it for a while.
I mean, yeah. And then the last show, I rocked no hat for the first time probably ever. So we're just breaking the mold here for everybody. And yeah, we're just going with it,
Maybe next show you go back to clean shaven. I mean, we've seen it.
We are not going to go back to clean shaven. That's for damn sure. But
I'll find a bet to make. I'll get you clean shaven again.
So we're going to keep you guys posted here on this Philadelphia 76ers Atlanta Hawks. Now, again, I didn't think this game was going to go this far. Obviously, none of us did. We thought obviously Embiid was the biggest factor here with his health going in with that torn meniscus or damaged meniscus, whatever that looked like at the beginning of the series. But at that point, we were like, if he's healthy and he's feeling good, that's great. But the first game of the series, we saw he definitely felt it, but still putting up huge monster numbers as always. And, a couple just little things here where I think, there's been some things that have stood out for me. Ben Simmons has stood out for me as someone that hasn't really been as good in this series as he should have, especially we've mentioned plenty of times the free throws and how those have been really, really rough for him. And I looked at the free throw percentage here in this game so far, and the Sixers are shooting pretty well right now. So
Simmons is not attempted a free throw,
which I think that's going to be a liability down the stretch here too. So we'll see.
Well, they pulled him a lot. He didn't play a ton down the stretch in Game 6 because of that free throw issue, which it's just wild when you have a player like that you have to pull late in a tight game because he can't make a free throw. It's unfortunate. Embiid's been solid, not spectacular in this series, but at the same time, who else does he have to rely on offensively? They are very, very limited offensively as a team. For a number 1 seed, Tobias Harris is good, but a little streaky. Seth Curry is the same. Seth Curry's been
he's been one of the
consistently
bright spots.
Their second best weapon offensively. Tobias Harris has had some better numbered games, but consistently wise, Curry's been solid every game. Tobias has been a little more up and down. But when that's your second best option offensively, because Ben Simmons has 4 points tonight on 2 of 4 shooting. Like, I know he has 11 assists, 7 rebounds. Fine. I could care less about the rebounds. 11 assists is nice. That's certainly he's setting up his teammates, and he realizes who he is. Like, just not a guy who can get his own buckets. But man, when those are your second and third options to score, like Embiid has it rough. Like that's tough.
Yeah.
When they can throw bodies at him and double cover him and commit a lot of guys because you don't have a lot of weapons otherwise to kind of fulfill that. Like everyone, we'll get into the game last night. Everyone wants to talk about how amazing Durant was and he was carrying that team on his back, but like at the same time, Embiid's kind of having to do that. He's not doing it as well. Like Durant was better. Durant's probably the best player on earth right now, in my opinion.
Kevin Durant is nasty. Just what he's able to do.
He's done. He's done.
He's
but
not.
He's nasty.
Man, he's always. Over the past, you can't lie. He's over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, he's been in that conversation with, that whole best player in the world argument, and he just keeps proving himself. At this point, he definitely is. LeBron is definitely not where he usually is at this point, and he's out of the playoffs, obviously, and then just the age has caught up to LeBron. He hasn't been as durable as he has in previous seasons as well, where he up until this point he's had just that whole just iron will to make it through seasons and not miss as many games. And that's kind of changing real quick over the last couple seasons. So, but yeah, it's crazy. So Kevin Durant definitely in that conversation. But as far as this game goes here, this has been more of a team effort from Atlanta, because Kevin Huerter is leading the Atlanta Hawks right now with 19 points. And Bogdanović has 4. Trae Young has 11. He's 1 for 8, by the way, from 3. So
2 of 16 from the field. If you would have told me Trae Young
is 2 of 16
on the road was 2 of 16 in this game, I would have told you, and it's in the fourth quarter, I would have said Atlanta's losing by 20.
They're getting blown out of the game, 100%.
And I will, now we got as you guys can see on the screen here, 76-76 game. So it's going to be a tight one, but they're picking up Trae Young. Trae Young's been phenomenal in this series, no doubt. Game 7 tonight, not good at all. But everyone else in the starting lineup, John Collins 5 of 6, Capella's 5 of 7. Bogdanović hasn't been great, but Huerter, as you talked about, 8 of 14. Gallinari's been decent off the bench, so they're getting things from other guys, and really it's the defensive end that's keeping keeping them in this game. Like 76-76 in today's NBA with 10:37 to go is a very, very low scoring game, and all things considered, and it's only going to get more tight. Like, man, I'll talk about this with a game 7 last night. I actually thought the refs did a really good job, and it was really fun to watch where they let them play. It got aggressive, it got physical, but they let both teams play and let it happen and let the players decide the game rather than calling cheap fouls or garbage like that. I loved it. Yeah. It was fun to watch.
It was one of the best game 7s I've seen in a long time, and this one is turning out to be a pretty solid game as well. So, even though we haven't had them necessarily, at least in this matchup, we didn't think it was going to be as competitive a series. It's been a fun series. The ups and downs, it's been crazy. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. But let's talk about that other one though. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets, because this game was all over the place, man. Or the series was all over the place. Now, when Milwaukee went down 0-2, it's been a little bit since we've been to that part of this series where everyone counted them out completely, even with Harden out. But then Kyrie goes down after that game 2. Was that game 2 or game 3 that he got knocked out? Actually, it might have been
Harden.
No, Kyrie.
I think it was. Oh, Kyrie.
Kyrie.
I think it was the start of game 3.
Yeah. So, this series just took such a turn. With Milwaukee just...
It was I remember. I'm sorry. It was second quarter of game 3.
Yeah. So game 3 is where Milwaukee got back on track. It was that ugly 86-83 game where it was like, man, there's no scoring, and it was just a sloppy, just low-scoring grind out kind of game. But as far as everything else goes in the series, everything changed once you got Kyrie out of there. And... that puts a lot of pressure on Harden to come back quicker, which he did, and he was on... he wasn't ready to come back yet. Like, 100%, he was not. A hamstring injury that he had at the end of the season, and then re-aggravates that same thing. It's just not a good situation for him, and you knew he wasn't even close to 100%. So, getting him back in, that's when I knew, by the way. When I missed the first quarter of that game because I was out and about, but I saw James Harden was getting some shots, and I was like, that's a scary thing for Brooklyn because they're desperate. If they're throwing him out there, they are doing everything they can to win this game, even putting his health on the line. And I don't know. I thought that when it came to Durant has been trying to put this team on his back, scoring a ton of points over the course of this latter end of the series, but man,
48 in game 7, which is the most points any player has ever scored in a game 7 playoff game in NBA history. So Durant did what he could. Like, granted, he took a lot of shots, but man, he was working hard. He was, by the end of the game, he was exhausted. Like, you look at the box score for overtime. Well, the overtime scoring, we went to overtime 109-109, and this game finished after 5 more minutes 115-111. Brooklyn scored 2 points in 5 minutes in overtime, and they had the lead for a lot of overtime. Milwaukee scored late to put up 6 points. Like, both teams were exhausted. They were working. Both teams were laying everything on the line, and props to Durant. First of all, the shot that took it to overtime was insane and very, very close. He had his toe on the line, which, 2 more inches, and he's probably behind that line.
They win that game.
Brooklyn's moving on, and Milwaukee's headed home. But his toe was on the line. It was pretty clear. It was definitely on the line. They went to overtime, and it just looked like they didn't have anything left. They were exhausted, and that's why I think Durant took a similar shot at the end of the game, down 2. They were down 2. It was really a 4-2 in overtime, and then they called a weird foul at the end of the game for 2 more free throws. But Durant came down and did another turnaround. This one, it looked like he was trying to do a 3. It was hard to tell if he got the 3 off, but he airballed it. It just looked like he was like set and determined, I'm going to take a 3 because I have nothing left. If we have to play 5 more minutes, like I'm not going to be able to give anything to this team. I've given everything. Like he's played every minute of every game in this series. Like Nash did not sit him hardly at all. He played 53 minutes.
53 minutes is insane.
Which is all of them. That's all of them. They played 53 minutes last night. He played 53. He's played every minute of every game in the last few of this series, which is kind of weird to me because Nash, first time head coach, right? All the respect in the world to Steve Nash. He was a phenomenal player, 2-time MVP.
Yep.
As a coach, what's weird about him playing Durant every minute, I understand they needed Durant on the court, but they were never trailing in this series, right? They were up 2-0.
Correct.
They lost games 3 and 4, but then they won game 5. So they were up 3-2. And even in game 6, he played him every minute to close it out. I don't know. I would get it. If they were down in the series, yeah, you lay it all on the line because today is your last day. But I feel like they overworked Durant to the point that, and he still played great in game 7, but when they got to that overtime, he had nothing left. Like Giannis was exhausted. A lot of props to Giannis. We haven't talked about the Bucks side of this.
Very true.
Giannis 40 in this game. Like 15 to 24. He looked like he wasn't feeling good. Like he was breathing heavy nonstop. Like there was something off about him. And listen, Giannis is he's a 2-time MVP who's very flawed. Can't shoot, right? Not a consistent shooter whatsoever. But there's something about his game and people would have just jumped all over him if they would have lost this game because Milwaukee has constantly under him, underachieved in the postseason. This is I don't care that Kyrie was out or Harden was out for a couple games. This was a huge series win for Giannis and the Bucks. And they have a real opportunity now to win, in the conference finals. We'll see who they face, but Giannis going for 40 on 15 to 24. He had a triple double, that was 13 rebounds, 5 assists, not a triple double. But he was great when, Middleton hit some clutch shots and Holiday hit some clutch shots late, but they were garbage for most of the game. Holiday 5 of 23, Middleton 9 of 26. Like Brook Lopez hung in there and played, kept him in it in the first half. He played really well.
Great defense, 4 blocks in that game. I mean, he had that lapse
at the end. Couple of clutch on Durant at the end.
So he had that lapse of judgment on that one, not knowing the time, and there was that little glitch in his brain where he totally but he made up for it though with
get a shot off there.
Yeah. He definitely made up for it with some of his defensive plays after that with getting a big block and just being that presence down the middle of the court. So across the board here, I think it was nice to see that Durant also in the press conference was giving the Bucks their due as well. At one point he was like, "Hey man, we're not talking about the Bucks, man. Like the Bucks won this game, and they deserve credit for that. So I'm not going to answer some of these questions about us and did we lose this game? Like they earned this win, they won." So I like that from Durant actually after the game. So that was nice and refreshing to hear. But yeah, I think the Nets. Honestly, I thought initially that the winner of this game, and I still kind of believe that, has a really good chance to win it all. And given the injuries with the Nets, I didn't think that they had the gas to get through, even if they got through this game. I don't know if they would have enough to get through 2 more series with all the injuries that they have to their big-time players, especially Harden and Kyrie, which both of them, I don't think Kyrie was planning on coming back the rest of the playoffs from what his situation looked like. And then as far as as far as James Harden, I mean, he was forced back in. And, I mean, he probably wanted to come back in, but there was no way he was going to be as effective.
Did you see odds-wise? It was the most interesting odds I've ever seen because going into this round of playoffs, the Nets were the favorite to win the whole thing. And then they won 2 games, and they were a heavier favorite. And then Kyrie got hurt. And they all of a sudden went to an underdog in the series against the Bucks once it was tied at 2. But they were also still the favorite to win it all. And basically what Vegas was saying is like, hey, they're hurt right now. So this is gonna be a battle in this series. But if they win this series and they get these guys back, we still think they'll win it. So it was really bizarre. They were underdogs in this series after being tied 2-2 after the injuries, but they were still the odds-on favorite at that time, despite being underdogs in that series, to win the whole thing.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. You don't see anything like that ever, odds-wise. So pretty wild. Update on this Philly-Atlanta game, 81-80, just over 6 minutes to go.
And actually, I'm ahead of you now.
Curry just hit a big three. I'm watching on YouTube TV. You're probably ahead of me. Neat. 84-80?
84-82. I got.
Oh my gosh. Come on, YouTube TV.
It's
just turned you on.
It's still close. And we have a long way to go still. 5 minutes, 54 seconds left, at least I have here. So yeah, clock is running and we have a really, really tight game. I got 84-84 right now, actually. So going back to this series here, and I want to get your opinion here. If we were doing fact or fiction this week, and I want to know everyone in chat who you guys think as well, but if we're doing fact or fiction, let's just do a little quick one here. Fact or fiction, Milwaukee Bucks win the NBA championship this season.
I'll start. That's get in the chat. You can disagree with me, but that's fiction to me.
Okay.
No, I just don't. I still don't trust them. Like, I know it was a big series win for them, but let's keep in mind those first two games they were embarrassed by a team, and that wasn't even a fully healthy. That was without Harden, Brooklyn Nets. So no, I think the team to beat right now is Phoenix. I think the Suns are the team to beat. That's my opinion. Regardless of who wins tonight, I'm taking Suns. I think they should be the odds-on favorite. Can Milwaukee do it? Absolutely. It wouldn't shock me if Milwaukee won it, but I would put it at, I don't know, probably somewhere in between 25 and 30%.
Deb in chat,
maybe 30%.
Deb in chat has fact.
Oh, fact. Okay, Deb.
And you know what? You know, just looking at the landscape here, and I don't know what are the odds for the Bucks right now, because I mean, they obviously beat the Nets, who were the favorite in the East to come out of there and represent the East in the NBA Finals. But I'm gonna go fact. It's not a strong. It's kind of how you feel about the opposite end. It's like you wouldn't be shocked if they lost, but at the same time, I just don't see. There's some matchup issues, I think, with how the Milwaukee Bucks play. I mean, you got, you know, a nice little defensive-minded team that, I mean, you have a lot of size there with Giannis and Brook Lopez. And I just think that, you know, when it comes to defense, holding down the paint, I think even with the Suns, they have some checkpoints for DeAndre Ayton to give him some trouble. And if you're not able to get the ball in the paint, if you're not able to, you know, work inside out, I mean, you got to rely on, you know, Chris Paul and Devin Booker to beat you. And, you know, as far as that goes, the Milwaukee Bucks, I mean, Holiday, not a bad defender. So, you know, he can guard a little bit. He's not going to be able to completely hang with, you know, the way Chris Paul is playing right now. But, I mean, he's a nice little defensive presence. PJ Tucker, Chris Middleton, he can score. I mean, I think there's a lot of players on this Bucks team that would give matchup-wise some trouble for the Phoenix Suns. But, I mean, that's just me. We'll see.
I think DeAndre Ayton would just dominate in the paint.
I mean, he's definitely better than Brook Lopez.
To your point, coming in, I think this was coming into today. Milwaukee was plus 170 to win it all. Odds on favorite to win it all. Phoenix plus 275. Clippers plus 425. Philly plus 425. And Atlanta plus 2500. So to your point, like, and Deb's point, like right now, I don't know how that changed based off Phoenix. We'll get into their game today, but they did beat the Clippers today in game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. But that might change it a little bit. Milwaukee's probably still the odds-on favorite, which I had not looked at this. That actually shocks me, those odds. I wouldn't touch Milwaukee at plus 170.
I mean, I feel like I would want a little bit more value to bet on them. I mean, if I'm just from a betting standpoint, I'm probably going to bet and get a little bit better value on the Phoenix Suns, even though I think Milwaukee would probably win. I just don't feel like you're getting a ton of value there, but I mean, it's not bad. It's not awful, but I don't like necessarily betting that unless it's a little bit better odds there. So, but crazy.
I don't think Milwaukee. I get where you're talking about. Like, yeah, Holiday's a tremendous defender. I actually think he'd probably be on Booker more than Paul.
Yep.
Because taking Booker away is probably more important than taking Paul away. Based off of today, Paul didn't even play, although, and still got the W, although they're definitely a better team with Chris Paul in the lineup, of course. So I see your point there, and I don't really think the Suns have a guy that they can really put on Giannis. They don't have a guy with that length and athleticism, so Giannis should be able to drive and eat in that series. So I see a lot of your points. The Bucks can get cold too often shooting the ball, and I just don't trust it. I just don't trust their offense. It's not them defensively. I don't trust their shooting ability, and the Suns, I don't question their shooting ability. Paul, Booker, Jay Crowder is all of a sudden the second coming, shooting wise. Who's their other? I'm drawing a blank on their other athletic wing that ate the Nuggets up. And their backup point guard, Payne played phenomenal. That's not who I was talking about originally. I was talking about Bridges, Mikal Bridges. Yep. Yeah. So they got a lot of pieces to go along with Aiden, who dominated in today's game and just, is just an efficient player inside the paint, and even, can go to the elbows and stuff like that. So he's an interesting player that a lot of teams don't have, but I don't know. I'd take Phoenix.
The Phoenix is the better
Vegas
shooting
disagrees.
team. Phoenix is the better shooting team in my opinion. I think it's going to be the Bucks defense to see how they can just get those guys to just get some missed shots. I mean, again, they've been running, at least in the Brooklyn series, they've been running a bigger lineup. They only had Holiday running the point, then they ran Middleton at the small forward, they ran Tucker and Giannis at the power forward, and Brook Lopez at the center. I mean, that's a big lineup just to throw out there. That, I mean, obviously they have some flexibility on their bench. I mean, you have still Jeff Teague, Portis, Forbes coming off the bench. He's not a bad defensive player from the point. So I think they might, depending on how they might have a feel out game with Phoenix if they end up getting to the NBA Finals and getting to that point. Feel out the lineups there, but yeah, I think size might be a little bit more difficult to shoot over some of those big boys if they get matched up. Especially, again, Tucker's not a slouch on defense either. So we'll see. We'll see who ends up drawing some of those matchups. And Milwaukee's been doing a lot better this postseason as opposed to the previous years in making adjustments. Coach Budenhauser has been a lot better in general when it comes to making those adjustments, especially in the Brooklyn series. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But as mentioned, we've been talking about this quite a bit here, but the Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers had game 1 of their series today. So let's talk about that one a little bit. Let's bring this up here and discuss what your takeaways were from game 1. Now, this game was super, super close throughout. Well, actually towards the end as well. But and the Clippers were, back and forth throughout this game. Ended up being a little bit of a better, just outlasting kind of matchup in this first game 1, where Phoenix just had a little bit more gas and ended up pushing it through. Paul George tried to play the best of his ability. He didn't shoot very well, 10 for 26 for 34 points. He's still not exactly hitting all the shots that he needs to hit. you don't count on him to hit like the big shots throughout the game. He just doesn't. I don't know. He's trying. He's doing everything in his power to carry this team, and I just don't believe it. I don't believe that he's able to do it. I think the pressure. Terrence Mann coming off of that last monstrous game in the previous series, kind of just coming back down to earth, 9 points, and Reggie Jackson for the Clippers, 24 points. He's honestly been the catalyst for them over the last 2 or 3 games of just the energy and what he's been able to bring. His shooting, 10 for 19 from the field, 4 for 12 from 3. So that wasn't, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. So he's been fantastic across the board. It wasn't a bad effort for them. But again, you have a lineup in Phoenix that's just playing pretty well, especially this one without game 1 without Chris Paul.
Yeah. Suns in 4? I don't know.
Did you see that guy? The Suns in 4 guy?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Booker got him some sweet seats. I don't know. Like, listen, Chris Paul was out this game. Sounds like, and no one knows whether he'll be back for game 2. I think at most he misses game 2. It sounds like he did test positive for COVID. He's been in protocol since the 16th.
And he was previously vaccinated.
He was. I haven't heard that.
I heard somewhere where they said he was previously vaccinated. I could be wrong. I thought I heard.
I didn't
on the radio.
see that. You could be right, but I had not heard that, and no one's come out and said that, which leads me to believe he probably wasn't. But I just hadn't heard it, so maybe you're right. I don't know. I think this is obviously the Clippers coming with a little less energy, coming off the 6 games series against Utah versus Phoenix, who swept the Nuggets. This game was tied going into the 4th, so it was a tight game. But like, you just look at the Clippers, and they took 47 3-point attempts in this game. And to be honest, they're not a great 3-point shooting team.
They're not built
like
to shoot
who do you look at the team and you're like, yeah, that's just a phenomenal 3-point shooter. Like Paul George hit 7 threes today. Reggie Jackson put up 7 of 15. Reggie Jackson 4 of 12. I will say Marcus Morris was 0 of 5, and he's streaky and can get hot. Terrence Mann 3 of 3, who was the catalyst in Game 7, a guy out of nowhere, rookie that just put up an insane amount of points. Like what they did in Games 5 and 6. And listen, I was dead wrong. I said Utah would take that series. I was obviously wrong. But what I said to some people today at work, they're like, oh, the Clippers are just on fire. And I'm like, what they're doing to me is unsustainable. Like, these are guys playing out of their minds, shooting wise. This is not who they are. Like, Rajon Rondo was 2 of 2 from 3 today. I watched Game 6, and Patrick Beverley, who's known for being a terrible perimeter shooter, was draining threes at the end of the game. Just draining them left and right. Like, that's just not sustainable. And quite frankly, Phoenix turned it on and got hot. But they hit 13 of 32 to LA's 20 of 47. Once they get Chris Paul back, I don't think this is going to be particularly close. Unless, it sounds like Kawhi's done, right? Like, if Kawhi comes back, maybe we can have a different discussion.
I don't think.
And yeah, they've been playing really well without Kawhi, but I just don't see it as sustainable. When your second best player is like Reggie Jackson, I just don't see it.
No.
And Paul George, who I don't even trust game to game. He was 7 of 15 from 3, but he was 3 of 11 from 2. So not exactly solid there. I mean, he put up 34. He did a lot. He played well. Give props to him, but I just don't see how the Clippers hang in this series at all. It would not. I expected to go 4 games, honestly.
Suns in 4 guy. Hey, where are you at? Well,
Suns in 4.
Suns in 4. I have the eyeball test for me does it. And the eyeball test for me is this just doesn't seem like a team that, like the Clippers, by the way, this doesn't seem like a team that just you feel good about. Like if you were to say, hey, you got the Clippers and the Suns in the Western Conference Finals. Here's what what you've seen up until this point. Would you feel comfortable throwing, a couple $100 on them today to win the series? I don't know if I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't even feel comfortable of them, taking this past. Well, I don't know if this went past. I have it more of a 4-1 series. The Clippers just, for some reason, I just don't know how they're doing it. They're like a car that's running out of gas that's sputtering down the stretch. You're trying to make it to the gas station, and you're probably not going to get there, but you're putting the car in neutral down the hills, and you're doing everything you can. And that's kind of what I feel like when I watch the Clippers and how I feel about their chances are in moving forward in this NBA playoffs, is just the fact that they just barely sputtering along, trying to do everything they can to last one more game. It's almost like they're just on their back foot playing, it's like, like a boxer. When you're not the aggressor and you're just kind of like backing up, and just kind of circling around, playing on the defensive side of the ring, and just not really putting forth that momentum that can get, like, I don't see any momentum from the Clippers that I feel can get them through this series. So I'm with you. I think they'll I think the Clippers will win maybe 2 games max. But outside of that, I don't think they have a chance in this series.
By the way, quick update on this Atlanta-Philly game. You're probably ahead of me, so I'm behind. Atlanta 93, Philadelphia 90.
I'm with you.
Minute 40 left. The most amazing thing I've ever seen, and we've talked about this. Atlanta on their last possession turned it over, and then immediately Ben Simmons had the ball in his hands, and they fouled him immediately. When he was, it was like before he even reached half court, they fouled him.
That's the smartest thing you could do.
He went 1 for 2 from the line. By the way, they showed it when he was at the line. He's 2 of 16 from the field today, Ben Simmons. So, there's only one guy to really, I don't know if I say blame, but he's just not it. He's not a playoff guy. He's a regular season guy when the defense isn't tight and on you.
Wait, you
Trae
said
Young?
You said he's 2 of 16 from the.
It looked like there was no way because he was 2 of 4 earlier in the game.
Yeah, I see. He's still 2 of 4. That's awesome.
I think it was they had a misprint because I was like 2 of 16. He took 12 shots in this fourth quarter? Because I wasn't watching it. I'm watching it now. Philly has the ball down 3. Minute and a half to go.
Now
we'll see what happens here.
I'm telling you, let's go to that actually. While let's push to. Obviously, we can't show any game footage here on the stream, which I wish we could. But let's go to that real quick because that game is just right now just all over the place.
We got a Mayday situation. Mayday.
Those Sixers, can you imagine?
They cut it to 1, and there's a foul I don't like. There's a foul called on Curry defensively that I would like to see them not call. Like I talked about it briefly last night, and this is side out at least, so it's not free throws. But I love that they just let them play. They let them be aggressive. You had to make good shots. You had to make good plays offensively. You didn't get bailed out by the officials. And it was so fun to watch. It reminded me, I'm going to sound old, but it reminded me of like an old school brand of basketball where you just had to tough it out and make tough shots.
No,
that's today's age, and I loved it.
I mean, that's old school NBA, man. That's old school. I mean, I grew up with that as well. With the, you had those grindy games, San Antonio Spurs and the, Lakers and the. I mean, you had some grindy teams that it was good defensive battles with some of those. And right now, I got it pulled up here too. Sometimes I have like multiple things going on the side to try to keep tabs on everything. But we have currently 54 seconds left. You might be ahead of me. 96-92 after those free throws by Herder.
3 free throws. He got. You're actually ahead of me. I'm at 94-92 with Herder still at the line for 2 more. He took a tough 3-point attempt, but he definitely got hit on the head. A guy tried to swipe by and hit him on the head. It was actually something you had to call. So I didn't mind that call because he just swiped his head completely, which is super unfortunate because he was not going to make the shot at all. But now we got a 96-92 game with 54 seconds left.
Speaking of, I see Doc Rivers here. Doc Rivers, man, is there a coach? I don't know if is it him? Is he? I think he's a great coach, in my opinion. I think he's been able to get teams really far. But why does this keep happening to Doc Rivers? Why is he so he's like cursed or something? I don't know what it is about him getting his teams ready for big games and big series down the stretch in the NBA playoffs. He can't do it. Like,
I mean, I'll say for sure it's a bad look that Ty Lue just took a team without Kawhi Leonard and made it to a spot that he couldn't make with the Clippers last year. So that's not a good look for him. Ty Lue looks real good for that. Without Kawhi Leonard, and you can make the Western Conference Finals, whereas they choked a 3-1 lead, obviously, against the Nuggets last year with Kawhi Leonard. So I don't know. I don't know. Is he a great coach? I think he's a good coach. I don't know if he puts you over the top. He's had a lot of talent to work with over the years, which has caused a lot of good results.
This is not looking good. Breakaway.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
This is not looking good. For Philadelphia,
Mayday.
We're
gonna have a 41-31 Atlanta team in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Man, look at the Sixers fans in the crowd are just stunned. The fact that, I mean, look at this. I mean, by the way, Ben Simmons will not be a 76er next year.
We all drew up on that breakaway, Joel Embiid driving against Danilo Gallinari, and he stripped him. Gallinari's like 87 years old and can't move, but here we are. This looks real bad.
Embiid's already got he's got a triple-double.
You're selling Ben Simmons real low, though. Who wants Ben Simmons, honestly?
I couldn't tell you who would want Ben Simmons, actually. I
wouldn't want him. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
I couldn't tell you. Ben Simmons, if you remember him coming out of LSU, he was the next LeBron James at one point, right? Wasn't he?
He just hasn't developed a shot. He was like LeBron, except LeBron was able to develop his shot, and Ben Simmons can't. I assume he's worked on it. He had to have worked on it because it would be embarrassing to go out there every day and shoot like he does and not work on it. He just doesn't have the capability, I would assume, which is wild. Like, I feel like a 10-year-old child, if they shoot 100 free throws, would eventually be able to make 50 of them, and he can't even make half of his.
Here's my thing. You get paid a lot of money to do this. You were projected to be one of the best players in NBA history. Well, I mean, up there in that echelon when you're drafted. He was one of the biggest no-brainer, I'm the next big thing in the NBA kind of players. Transcendent. He was supposed to be that guy. And how do you not? My wife talks about this just in free throws in general. She's like, how do these guys go out there and miss these free throws when they get paid? That's all they get paid to do is to put the ball in the basket. All you got to do is practice your free throws if you suck at free throws. It's a mentality thing, right? Like, if you really want to get good at something.
Ooh.
And
Sorry.
I just feel like Ben Simmons he just doesn't feel like he is ever motivated. You never hear about Ben Simmons really wanting to do anything about improving his shot or improving his free throws or improving his three-point shots. Like, he just hasn't had that mentality. I just don't feel it. You see him out dating some Kardashians and doing these things. If that's what you're into, bro, if you're into the fame and this and that, you can be famous without, being an NBA player by just dating a Kardashian. You don't have to play basketball. Like, he's on the sideline now. Look at this. He's on the sideline because he's a liability at the free throw line. Can you say that about any other superstar in the NBA? Like, it's crazy. I can't say that about it. Can you pick out a superstar, Scotty? We gotta pull our.
I missed you for a little bit, but I feel like I agree to an extent. Like, especially someone at his size, like Shaq missing free throws, I understood a little more because it was like a little tiny thing in his hand. His hands were so big that it was like hard to like throw the ball in that direction and like with that power and that size. But Ben Simmons has no excuse. Like, if you continually practice, like, I just don't understand how you can't get to at minimum 70% from the line. Like, and he's nowhere near that. And now Philly's going home and losing to an Atlanta team who's very average is not a good look. Not a good look at all.
This is unbelievable.
Atlanta, who's never, like, none of these guys have played in the playoffs really. Like, Trae Young's never been there. Capella and Gallinari have, whatever. This team is not. If they were in the West, I would not pick them to win a series.
Oh, I mean, again, they've been. Wow.
They beat a very flawed New York team, and then a Philly team that, I don't know, obviously was the 1 seed. So maybe Atlanta's better than I think. But what about Atlanta gets you excited? Like, this is wild. Trae Young was awful from the field tonight, and they're gonna win on the road in Game 7 against Philly. Philly's got some issues.
They're blowing this up. I'm telling you. They might keep Curry.
They have to.
They might keep Curry. Curry's showing some nice little promise there as a shooter in this playoff run. Embiid will obviously be back. I don't know. Tobias Harris has played well. I mean, he had 24 points tonight, 45 minutes. He didn't shoot particularly well. 2 for 7 from 3.
They got to get some more shooters. I know Curry can shoot, but they have to get some more guys that are more reliable from the 3-point line.
Man,
that's what they need.
The face of the series was just shown on the screen, and that was Ben Simmons on the sideline, 2 for 4 from the field for 5 points. You want to talk about a player who single-handedly lost this for the Philadelphia 76ers from his free throw standpoint and from his production standpoint? Joel Embiid is the only guy that came to play from an all-star standpoint when it comes to the big-time names in this series. Like, unbelievable. Deb in chat, someone please talk Mayday off the ledge. I don't know.
I don't know how to get a hold of him right now.
We don't.
I hope his parents are there for him. I hope his friends are there for him, consoling him. I hope, knowing that there's gonna be a better day. But yeah, I would be devastated if I was him right now. Not that I guaranteed them winning a NBA title, but you can't lose to Atlanta.
All right, so this NBA playoffs has been the weirdest NBA playoffs I can remember. Now,
yeah,
can you imagine if I keep every series ends and I keep thinking to myself, but what if we had Jamal Murray? Like, we would be incredible. Like, we would be in such a good position. Which
is weird because you hate Jamal Murray.
I love Jamal, my boy. But
nah, he's my boy.
Keep this in mind though. The Nuggets. The Nuggets they wouldn't have had home court in the finals if they would have played Milwaukee. I'm playing what ifs here, just fantasy island here. But they wouldn't have had home court because I think Milwaukee had a much better record in the East. Correct or no?
I think it was close. I'll have to look.
But the Nuggets have owned the Bucks in Denver.
They would have had home court. Nuggets finished with 47 wins, Milwaukee with 46.
So it was literally like one game. But
Yeah.
over the course, I've told people this, one of my guarantee bets every single time is the Nuggets lose to what was it? I think actually no, was it reversed? I want to say maybe it was like the Nuggets always win in Milwaukee. Maybe it was the reverse. There was one of those guaranteed bets that it come up every single year that like you always have to bet it. That would have been a good series though, and I think the Nuggets would have been right there. We maybe wouldn't have played very good defense against Milwaukee, but I digress.
I think they could have hung with Milwaukee, but that doesn't matter.
I digress. It doesn't matter. We have the Hawks going to their second conference championship in their franchise history. And here's the crazy part. On the broadcast, guess who they have on on the broadcast doing the interview post game? It's Kevin Huerter. It's not even Trae Young. Like that's how you know the Hawks.
What just happened?
That's how you know the Hawks are just this weird team that have made it this far, and I don't know how they have. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it.
But there you have it, guys. There you have it. This one
we have a Atlanta Milwaukee Eastern Conference Finals with a Kawhi-less Clippers versus right now a Chris Paul-less Suns in the West.
Seriously, it's such a strange playoffs this year, guys. It's so weird. But hey, again, you mentioned it earlier. If you were to say that Trae Young would shoot 5 of 23 and 2 of 11 from 3, obviously you would be like, they're not winning that game, and that's on the road. They're not winning that game against a good number 1 Philadelphia 76ers team. I would have taken 0 bets on that. But here we are. Wild, wild stuff. Well, there you have it, guys.
We have both 1 seeds out. We have 1 2 seed left. And then a 3 and a 5. Like, not the elite of the elite left in this playoffs. So I would pour money on Suns. You like Milwaukee. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I like Milwaukee in this series coming up.
That's fine. I already got my Suns up 1-0. You just agree that they're going to win in 5, so I wouldn't take Milwaukee in 5. I think it'll go at least 6 because Milwaukee can't shoot.
But then again, I also said that the 76ers would win this series in 5.
Yep.
Weird.
And they should have.
Man, I cannot.
And they should have.
I cannot believe the outcome of this game here. Unbelievable.
They felt the pressure tonight. They played like garbage tonight. But there were a couple games they let slip away. Like, it's bad.
So,
it's a really bad look. I don't know where Philadelphia goes.
They blow it up.
Because I don't know.
They blow it up.
Yeah.
Their roster, actually, when I was looking at it from that standpoint, it wasn't like if you look at who they have on their team from a roster standpoint, I just don't see how. I don't know. It's just
not a 1 seed.
Not a 1 seed team. I wouldn't expect a 1 seed to start Korkmaz, shooting guard. He's a backup player. I mean,
like, am I crazy? Like, the Nuggets are a better team, healthy.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you have. I think Maxi's gonna probably move into the starting lineup next year. I think Maxi's a really solid young talent coming from Chicago over to Philly, and now he's, I mean, obviously he didn't get a lot of time. He had 14 minutes in this game, but I mean, I don't know some of the. I have to look into the contracts of some of these guys. I mean, Dwight Howard wasn't really a big impact player in this series. 7 minutes in this game. I mean, really, all you can point to is 3 players on this team that are probably going to be, and even then, I would say Tobias Harris is probably going to. Who knows about him? But I think he's kind of on that borderline. Might be back, might not. But if they kept him, I wouldn't be upset if they kept him around. Joel Embiid and Seth Curry, I think, can be around as well. I think he's proven that he can be a nice shooting piece, and they need shooting. So it doesn't make sense for them to get rid of him. But Ben Simmons, oh, he's gone. I just don't know how you can package him up in a deal to get anyone to bite on him. I don't even know.
You need someone.
What's his
some
contract?
Team that's desperate. Some team that's desperate for star power because he has the star name, but it doesn't follow with star results. I'm trying to look.
Yeah, what's his contract?
Trying to look at Spotrac, and like either my internet is down or that site is down because it's not working. There's another site.
Ben Simmons contract. Here we go. Let's see. Simmons signed a 5-year, $177 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. It's not a good. It is no way this is a good contract for the 76ers. But yeah, I'm kind of having trouble pulling it up here.
Spotrac site is really struggling, which I usually use.
This was a 5-year, $170 million maximum contract extension, and that was on July 15th, 2019.
Yeah, they're in trouble. They're not going to get. I think they need to move him.
Oh,
You still need to move him, but you're not going to get a lot of value there.
For all those TikTok fans, that "Oh No" song, who it just pops up in your. Oh no! Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah. That's what Philadelphia is saying right now because they're not going to be able to move that kind of a contract for a guy that can't shoot free throws and can't shoot the ball in general. They're in some trouble, man. I don't know what you do there.
Yeah, I finally got to their team page. I'm trying to switch to next year. What the contracts look like.
So they have Tobias Harris through 2024. Now Simmons through 2025. Horford, they signed Horford at one point. Al Horford was under contract through 2023, but Horford got $109 million 4-year deal. And he's gone. He's not even with the team anymore. And Embiid has last season $147 million 5-year deal, so he's obviously all right. But
yeah, they have no cap space. They're negative 11 million in cap space. Ben Simmons is on a really terrible deal. Like Joel Embiid is their 3rd highest cap number next year at 31 million. Tobias Harris is 36 essentially, and Ben Simmons is 33. Like that's a disaster. When you have those two.
Elton Brand is still the GM there, isn't he? Is Elton Brand still the GM?
Is Elton Brand a GM? Because that's the first I'm hearing of that.
I know
I don't think he's not a GM. No way.
Oh wait,
is he?
Sixers general manager in this article here.
It is Elton Brand.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Why would they make Elton Brand their GM? He's not experienced enough to.
The Sixers. The Sixers are in some trouble.
If you're silently here in the distance crying, find another team, man.
Hey, we'll take you as a Nuggets fan.
I don't know what to tell you. This team needed to win this year based off this roster and where it's headed because it's bad. It's bad. They're only paying the good news is they're only paying 4 guys. The bad news is between Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid, you're looking at $110 million between the 3 of them next year.
You can't do that.
Stupid.
You can't do that.
It's stupid. Yeah. So you can't move either of those guys. You can't. You're not going to get anything back. You're just going to free up cap space. They're in a mess. They are in an absolute mess. I did not realize how bad of a situation they're in until right now. They're in a real bad situation.
I'm not going to lie. Philadelphia fans, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just take this as a win. You made it this far.
You had the Eagles win the Super Bowl like 4 years ago or something. That was good.
If you're out there, chat, hit us in chat, by the way, if you feel like, I mean, I don't see what's going on here, but for all the Philadelphia fans, I mean, send some prayers, send some love to the Philly fans. They're going to need it because this was kind of that all-in moment, and it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I don't even know. Yeah, you can't make moves. It's your hand tied. So let's leave this one alone. We'll preview actually this coming up here. So again, you got the Hawks and the Bucks coming up. I think we both have the Bucks winning that series. And I wouldn't be shocked at this point because the Hawks have really come on, but I still don't think their roster compares to what the Bucks have to throw at them. So I think that's going to be a quicker series. And
I don't.
You don't. You still have the Bucks though.
I lean Bucks, but I don't think it'll be a quick series. It'll go at least 6.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't hate that. It's 4-2. I don't hate that.
I said at least.
At least minimum. You might have that 7-game series, but
might go 6 Atlanta. I don't believe in the Bucks at all.
But see, here's the thing. I don't believe. I mean, why is Trae Young in a? I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, Trae Young 5 of 23 in this game didn't. I mean, that's kind of questionable. I would think like if he took over this game and he was just a stud, and I mean Bogdanovich, he's their best shooter on the team, arguably, or they want him to be.
I'm just saying the Bucks won a 7-game battle against a team that, are we sure outside of Kevin Durant they were any good at all? Like their second best player in the series was Blake Griffin, who was washed up and invisible, and basically handed to it. Like he was released.
I don't know
from his own team.
I don't know this one. I don't believe in the Hawks are kind of in the same situation as the Jazz were for me. The Jazz are definitely a more talented team. Don't get me wrong. Their starting 5 was definitely way more talented. And I just didn't believe in the Jazz. And that kind of came to fruition over the course of that. That shocked me a little bit. The fact that the Clippers were able to just end up taking over that series. And, man, this playoffs has been... Let us know, guys, in the chat. What do you feel about these NBA playoffs? If you're a big NBA fan, then you know that this is not normal for, I mean, this whole pandemic season coming, short off season, lots of injuries, lots of weird playoff results. Man, what do you think? Let us know what your biggest takeaways are. But there's a lot of teams in the playoffs at this point. We're in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, and there are teams that we still don't believe in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. Like, that's not normally something you can say when the NBA strives to have the best. I mean, that's what they want. They want the Lakers. They want the Clippers. They want the Nets. They want those marquee matchups, those Celtics. They want those big-time markets to be in these places. Can you imagine an Atlanta Hawks and Phoenix Suns final? The ratings would be absolutely insanely awful. I mean, Adam Silver's got to be just losing his mind right now.
Yeah, he's not happy about today at all. I think he was going to be fine with the results regardless, as long as Atlanta didn't win today. Now he's got a problem. Yeah. And he's got a Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a tiny market and doesn't draw a lot of interest. The Clippers are kind of your like hope.
And you don't even have Kawhi.
It's a huge LA market, but let's be honest, 3/4 of LA is Laker fans and hates the Clippers. So is that even a good market? Like,
and the Clippers don't have their best player is Kawhi Leonard.
yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like this is a trash. If you're Adam Silver, you're having nightmares at night. You're going to bed just in cold sweats right now. But crazy stuff, man. This is wild. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. I know there's a bunch of people kind of hanging out, enjoying the stream. If you're here, by the way, hit us up. Like, talk about, this is your show on Sundays. We want to make sure that you guys, just vent. Talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. We're going to talk some hockey here. We only had one game on the slate for the hockey side of things, so we're going to touch on that. And that one's actually a pretty close matchup. Last time I checked, it was tied 1-1 between Golden Knights and the Vegas Knights.
Headed to overtime.
And that series, Montreal is like Cinderella City right now. Cinderella City, Montreal. No one counted Montreal into this. Let's dive in. I mean, let's talk about it. It's crazy to see what's happening here.
Montreal was a below average regular season team that's now making a serious run to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, all of a sudden, after losing game one kind of handily against the Vegas Golden Knights, taking the next two, they've actually controlled game four here. This is in Montreal. They've outshot Montreal pretty handily in this game. I just looked and then left it. What the shot number is in this game. Give me 2 seconds.
No, I have it here.
28-18.
Yep.
They've outshot Vegas. Vegas has 18 shots. That's like
weird
that's
for a team
shots
as good as they are.
Like, it baffles my mind how the Avs could be so talented and get kind of dominated in those last 4 games, at times at least, by Vegas. And then you have a Montreal team that's nowhere near as talented, that's able to shut this offense down. And Vegas isn't able to do anything at all. It's frustrating to me. It baffles my mind.
By the way,
I think if...
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
No, go. I think if the Avs were in this series, I think the matchup would favor the Avs a lot because of... Yeah. I mean, the Avs play a totally different style in Vegas. It's not even remotely close. And it's just not a good matchup, apparently, for the Avs. And I think the Avs would dominate the Canadians. But now Vegas... I mean, Vegas went to 7 games in their first round against the Wild. So there's something about how the Avs match up against Vegas that doesn't work out well for the Avs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Vegas is struggling in this one. Can't really find a rhythm. And Montreal is a overtime goal away from going up 3-1.
Keep in mind, Vegas didn't start their number one goalie in this matchup. They put Lehner in for this game. Now, if you recall, wasn't he the one that we scored like 9 goals on in game 1?
Yeah.
And that's how, I don't know if that's a Vegas panic move or they're trying to get Marc-Andre Fleury some rest or what. Because I saw that break right before we went on show. Actually, before the game started, I got a little update on ESPN saying Marc-Andre Fleury, they're making a change at goalie. And I was kind of taken back by that. But from a Vegas team that's down 2-1 in a series, when you're changing your best award-winning goalie this year, one of the best goalies in the NHL, and you're not starting him in a must-win game, that's panic mode for Vegas. That's scary if you're a Vegas fan. And
I'd be pissed if I was Marc-Andre Fleury. I'd be furious.
I just don't know why you would make that move when you have a goalie that's literally one of the top 2 goalies in the NHL. You play him. You don't. I mean, in a must-win game, that means you don't have confidence in him to get a win for you and make the saves he needs to make. If you're a Vegas fan, obviously you mentioned Marc-Andre Fleury is not happy. He wants to play. Unless there's an injury that we don't know about that's super low-key hidden, he should be playing in this game.
Yeah. I don't understand that. It's not like their goaltending's been so terrible in this series that it's his fault. And this is a guy that's won Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh before. I would be super frustrated. I would be questioning everything about why I'm getting sat right now in a game that's kind of a must win for, like, he gave up, like, they lost games 2 and 3 3-2. So it's not like he was giving up 5-6 goals in these matchups. So it's super weird. Man, I don't understand it. All this series does is make me more frustrated in how the Avs choke.
Look at this.
That's
The Vegas Knights finished the season 40-14-2.
Yep.
The Canadians finished 24-21-11. It's like,
yep.
What?
It's not close. 16 wins.
What?
16 win differential. And here we are.
And that tells you, like, hey, folks, we've been talking about this for a while. Just because you're the one of the worst teams to get into the playoffs, you get goaltending, and you get on a hot streak at the right time. It doesn't matter who you are. You could win and upset anybody in the NHL playoffs. Stanley Cup playoffs.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen. And the Montreal Canadiens are doing exactly that right now. And it's unbelievable. We haven't even talked about the other side of the series, which is another good series, the New York Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning, which Tampa Bay Lightning, obviously the defending champions here. But as far as that goes, New York is on its own little kind of Cinderella run in a sense. And they're both of our, favorites for just from a personal, like, wanting to win standpoint.
I thought we gave them the kiss of death. They went up 1-0, and then we're like, we're Team Islanders, and then they lost the next 2, and I'm like, yep, that makes sense. But they pulled out game 4, so we got a 2-2 set there. But the Islanders were the 4 team in their division. The Canadians were the 4. We might have 2 4 seeds, which are the bottom seeds this year in your division, to make the postseason, playing in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Between the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, everything weird is happening. Like
the only normal thing that happened today was Bryson DeChambeau
DeChambeau. Okay.
Choking it away. We'll get into that. We can talk more about this hockey, but yeah, super excited to talk about that.
Yeah, no, by the way, we're going to be touching on that here in a second with our. We have our viewers' choice, where we can talk literally about anything you want to talk about, any sports, But we're gonna bring up also, before we get to that, we want to touch just quickly on some Euro 2020, because we said we would,
yep.
And it's something that obviously I've had a lot of fun. You've had a lot of fun catching up on some of these scores and highlights and games. Lots been happening with the different groups. When it comes to the stages of this Euro 2020 tournament. Now, diving into this, I have some of them pulled up here. Let me make sure this is in a good spot for you, though, so you guys can all see it properly. All right, let's pull this up. So we had some scores today, and as of today, let me pull up what we had match-wise. So we had Wales. Wait. Let's see. No.
Yeah, Wales and Italy.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this up. Sorry, I have. I'm pulling up. Wales ended up losing to Italy. By the way, I've been betting a lot on some Euro 2020, and I've been doing fairly well. If you're not betting on some of these, if you're a big bettor in this Euro 2020. I feel like there's a lot of good ways to make some money here. So as of today, we had the Switzerland-Turkey matchup. When Switzerland winning that one 3-1 pretty handily. Switzerland's looking pretty good. Italy ended up beating Wales today 1-0. So as far as this current group here, Italy's in the driver's seat. They have 9 points, 3 wins, 0 losses. And they're just playing really, really well. Wales is kind of a little bit, a surprise here. I obviously Turkey isn't as strong of a club here in this group. So obviously, if you're looking at these, Wales definitely has a little bit more. I thought Switzerland would be a little bit higher in these standings. I mean, they're tied in the middle there, but Switzerland got a big win today, so they needed that. Obviously, Italy is the class of this group.
I mean, this is the first group that's finished their round robin group stage.
Yep.
So top 2 will make it. So Italy and Wales are into the final 16. Switzerland, with 4 points and 16 of the 24 teams make it, likely makes it, and they're going to face a really, really difficult trajectory moving on. Like, they're going to have to play a difficult team. I think the top 8 seeds probably get a bye, and then they're probably going to face 9, 10, something like that, where they might be able to compete there. But Switzerland at 4 points is likely to make it into the final 16 as well. So we'll probably get 3 teams of this division. But this is the first one to finish the group stage, and Italy dominated. They have the best goal differential at +7 in all of the Euro. Obviously, they played one more game than all the other groups, but the second best goal differential is 4. So with Belgium, so they looked really, really solid. This was not exactly what you would call the group of death.
No, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, Italy, Wales, Switzerland, and Turkey. Kind of, to me, one of the softer groups here. Group C seemed really, really soft to me. Actually, Group A seemed tougher to me than Group C. That seemed like the weakest group here. But Group A was pretty soft. I know Switzerland's supposed to be like the 12th, the FIFA rankings, they're the 12th best team in the world. I believe, 13th, sorry. And Wales is 17th. But I don't know. I don't know how much I trust those rankings. Like, the U.S. is 20th. And I don't know that the U.S. is a top 20 team right now. They're getting better and better, but I don't know that I would put them as the 20th best team in the world right now. So, and I don't trust these rankings because they have Germany like 12th. I don't understand that.
Germany put away Portugal, which Portugal's in a team that nobody really believes in quite that much. I mean, they have Cristiano Ronaldo, but I mean, they had a big win against Portugal the other day. Germany's like, all right.
Germany woke up on offense, yeah. Yesterday, that was a marquee matchup. That was a big game. Germany, Portugal. Germany putting up a 4 spot after being down 1-0 after a Ronaldo goal, and getting a 4 spot with. There were 2 own goals they got to start, which the amount of own goals that happens in soccer at the international stage, to me, is shocking. These defenders that are like reaching for the ball and putting it like in the perfect spot, I'm like, where do you think when you're hitting this ball, the ball is gonna go?
Yeah,
I'm so confused by it.
I mean, some of it's
half of these. I'll be honest. If the defender doesn't touch the ball, the offensive player isn't going to touch it because it's out of his reach, and it would be a nothing. But the defenders just freak out and kick the ball into their own goal. It's wild to me. Like, I don't understand it.
By the way,
it's super frustrating to watch.
Mayday. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. By the way,
we're happy to see you here, though.
I'm so glad you're here. We've been thinking about you all stream. Scotty, myself, Deb, all of us in the chat. We've been. Hey, we're your support group. I want you to vent. We'll talk on that with you here in a minute. But by the way, I have breaking news. The minute we stopped talking about the Golden Knights, they ended up winning that game in overtime.
No.
Yep. Breaking news. 2-1. They won instantly in overtime, pretty much. So that game is over. In the books. Series tied up 2-2. Going back to Vegas for the next game. So that game is in the books. Vegas Knights, hold out. Man. See, now Mayday's in the chat, and now all I want to do is talk about Philadelphia 76ers.
Yep. It's hard.
Let's see. Here we go.
We've talked about that today. We've talked about Ben gone. Like, Ben has to be gone. The problem is you're going to get nothing for him. His contract is the worst.
So, by the way, Mayday, we were looking, Scotty and I looked up his contract, and it doesn't look good. In 2019, he signed a 5-year, $177 million deal. And given the way he's played and given his shooting, he hasn't improved. There's no way they're going to be able to move that contract. It's rough.
They can move it. They're just not going to get anything
in return. Yeah. And so
freeing up money might be the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You feel bad for Joel Embiid. It's just a tough one, man. Like he's the Carson Wentz of the
Sixers. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I kind of like it.
It fits, right? It fits.
I like the comparison.
But Mayday, yeah, man, we're sorry for your loss, and man, we were just talking about it consistently, like how do the Sixers move forward? They got to blow it up. And there's no way. I mean, outside of you had a couple bright spots with Curry shooting pretty well. Embiid is
Harris played pretty well for the most part.
Yep, Harris. I think he's under contract for a couple more years, so you got to probably keep him around. He's probably, he's decent. He's solid. Mayday, go Phillies. Yeah, that's what you got to look forward to. Because Eagles.
He put it as a question mark.
Did the Phillies? Phillies were down. Were they down earlier when I checked? I thought when I was checking the scoreboards, they were a little bit. They might have pulled it out. I don't know. I missed it.
The Phillies are 34-35. So go Phillies.
Go Phillies. By the way, Mayday, I don't know if you're following the Euro 2020. We're talking some different groups here. So hey, by the way, Mayday, who's your international team when it comes to like Euros or World Cup? I forget. I think you told us, but I may have missed it. But we're talking a little bit of we want to get your mind off of the Philadelphia, but if you need to vent, we're here for you. They got
I would say like Spain is the Philadelphia of the World Cup or of international play these days.
Yeah, maybe. So let us know who you got. So we got some other groups here to just catch up on here. So Belgium and Russia, Finland kind of in the driver's seat in this one. But Belgium, obviously, class of this. They're the number one team in the world at this point. And yeah, they're looking solid. Mayday, Italy. Let's go Euros. So Italy's.
We just covered Italy, of course.
Yeah, Italy is they're moving on. They're looking great, 3-0. Their goal differential 7. I feel like they have a really strong.
That's in the Euro.
Italian heritage. Yeah, Mayday. I have my Italian heritage as well. Actually, my dad's side is all from New York and East Coast, but my last name Acola is my last name, and it's from Italy. So. It's weird though. Like I got my mom's side is like Spain, Spanish, and then I got Italy, which is,
Don't. We just acknowledged your second team after America was Spain. Don't try and jump on this Italy bandwagon.
No. It's always gonna be Spain. Just because I have a little bit more of those Spain
roots, I feel really good at passing in the middle of the field. So exciting to watch Spain pass the ball back and forth for hours.
It's literally all you watch is them just controlling and passing the ball in midfield. That's all it is. It is Spain. That's the way they win games, right? That's the way they win matches.
Do they win though? Do they win?
They're not winning recently.
Nope.
Let's move on to like some of these others. So Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria. This is one of like the worse off kind of groups. There's not a lot here. We got North Macedonia coming in, bringing in the rear here, but they're not going to matter.
This is the weakest group of any of them.
Yeah.
Outside of Netherlands all these other teams should be erased.
Yeah. There's not really too much to get excited about here, but this is the current standings as we sit right now. Scrolling through here, this next one, Czech Republic, England. England actually I feel like they've got some really good things coming in their direction when it comes to, their trajectory. They've always kind of been like not quite getting to the top. They've been like the Chargers of like the last few years, where you always have high expectations and they always kind of like fall short. That's England for me. So I don't know. I would love for 666 to come back and give us some insights on that. But
Mayday asked who my team. My number 2, which I talked about the other day, was it's England. It's England, because I love teams to have high hopes and just disappoint.
That's what I was just talking about.
I love England in that regard. They always fulfill that prophecy of being really promising and disappointing, and so far they've disappointed in this tournament. A tie against Scotland in their last game cannot happen. Like, of course they're gonna make the next round, whatever, but they just have not looked good doing it. I'm gonna cheer for them. That's my team outside of obviously the U.S. I'm going to cheer for England, even though they disappoint left and right.
I mean, they should come out of this group, though, right? I mean,
no, listen. I mean, they got a win and a draw already with a game left against Czech Republic, who's also a win and a draw. So we'll see. That's going to be a tough game there. Those are what I would think is the top 2 teams in that group. But they should beat Czech Republic as well. So. Actually, Czech Republic's not nearly as good as I thought they were. I'm just looking that up. So
they're not.
They should win that one. Yeah, Croatia is the second best team in that one. But a tie against Scotland is kind of silly. Scotland is ranked 44th in the world FIFA rankings. England is ranked 4th. So
that was a choke by.
Can't happen.
That
can't happen.
Absolutely not. Not in the Euro 2020s. Not in the World Cup. When you're that heavy of a favorite and you're that ranked that high, you can't be dropping games. You can't be dropping splits to.
They have 1 goal in 2 games, so they got to get creative. They haven't given up a goal, so that's good, but get a little more creative on offense.
Yeah.
But that's my team. I'll be right back as you continue to talk about the UEFA.
Yeah. No. So. Continuing on, and this is going to be a disappointment for Spain. Spain hasn't played well at all. So they've already had a couple draws that they shouldn't be having. Spain is one of the top teams in the world, obviously, perennially. And so from this standpoint, this is actually a disappointing looking group right now. Now, Spain can still come out of this. I think, they still have a chance to come out of this group and be strong, but it's not looking great. Mayday in chat. That was a 6-year move by England, and it's not coming. Yeah, I mean, England, they've always just been that team. They've always been that team that just kind of underperforms. Like, they fit in that category with, like, the Avalanche of this year. But, like, Chargers, the San Diego Chargers, when they were just continuously projected to win every single year and, just be the cream of the crop when it comes to the AFC West. Even before, the Broncos and the Chiefs kind of like gravitated to the top there, it was always like, LaDainian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers, and like they're the team to beat, and they would always like just underperform and get knocked out of the first round of playoffs. That's kind of how England has been, and it's just like that's just how it is, unfortunately. But I think England will be in a better spot there. And I think, from this standpoint, again, looking at this group, Spain is definitely underperformed based off of 2 draws in this group. And I think, again, they have to get a win in this next one because right now, Sweden's in the driver's seat here. And that's kind of a weird thing to see, Slovakia and Sweden above a Spain, number 3. Poland's actually pretty strong. Poland can compete as well, but there's no reason Spain should be in the bottom, half of this group.
Yeah, I just jumped on, but Spain you love them, but they just pass the ball to themselves for a while. That's created all of 1 goal. They dominate possession and don't score. So, all of 1 goal. I just don't. I appreciate their skill. I really do. But I don't appreciate watching them not produce. And obviously, they won a World Cup, what, 2 World Cups ago?
Yep.
So there's talent there where that style can work. They don't have it right now. So to me, right now, they're a boring team to watch.
Man, it's like watching paint dry sometimes, man. Like I love Spain, I do. They're my second favorite team behind the U.S. But like, you know, Italy's probably like Mayday. You just mentioned third is your Slovakia. Okay, all right. Yeah, Slovakia is looking pretty good right now. Third.
I feel like his comment, real quick, his comment. At least we didn't get swept. I feel like that was just we're trying to support you here, and you're calling out our Nugs like for no reason at all. Like that hurts a little bit.
I tried to gloss
Mayday,
over
we're trying to like console you right now. We're trying to be there for you, and you're just gonna throw us under the bus with our team getting swept. That hurts a little.
All of a sudden,
I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go.
I see the memes of Suns in 4 coming up, and I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
The Suns are winning the NBA Finals. It's happening. It's happening.
Maybe we do a side bet on that.
It sounds weird. It sounds weird for me to say out loud, but it's happening.
Maybe we do a side bet on that. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe Wednesday. Hey, Wednesday, tune in. Maybe we have a side bet on NBA Finals.
Everyone tune in because Chris's eyebrows are next.
Oh no, we're not shaving the eyebrows.
Yeah,
we already.
Nah, we're doing eyebrows next. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I mean, I'm not the one that's scared to lose that bet, but
it sounds like you.
It would be your turn to lose that bet, son. Just letting you know.
I don't think that's how that works.
Now, again, I want to get to this group of death real quick, and because we have some stuff we want to cover before the end of the show, and I want to get to this group of death, and then we want to get to some golf because we had some golf stuff, and then I want to talk a little bit more to Mayday on how he's feeling here. But Mayday, no, I'm salty about Jokic. Yeah, okay, all right, okay. Embiid deserves it, and that performance tonight was insane by Embiid. Eyebrows, Chris. No.
Eyebrows, Chris.
No,
eyebrows.
No. Can you imagine? Like that doesn't look like. I mean, I can't even. No.
I want for you to grow out the beard even more.
It wouldn't look good.
Accentuate the. Well, of course it won't. That's the point of the bet.
I mean, eyebrows.
You're confident you'll win.
I mean, I am confident, but I was also confident.
Okay.
Well, shit, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think eyebrows are on the table.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, we'll discuss it. Hey, that's cliffhanger. That's that. We'll tease it for the Wednesday show. We'll talk about what we want to bet at that point. But again, this is all hinging on the Bucks and the Suns both making it that far. So we got to get there first.
No, we're making that bet now.
Deb in chat. I was feeling bad for you, Mayday, but I'm over it.
Apparently, Deb doesn't want to see the eyebrows.
No, she doesn't want to see the eyebrows.
Or maybe it's the call out on the Nugs. Listen, it's fine. Salty about Jokic. Embiid deserved what? Embiid did not deserve MVP. If that's what you're trying to say. Sorry, Mayday. Jokic was the MVP. He deserved it. He was healthy. He played out of his mind. Embiid played kind of by himself this series, but Jokic kind of did too. Let's keep in mind that Jokic didn't have his second best player. Embiid had a fully healthy team around him, which included Ben Simmons, unfortunately.
By the way, we didn't really talk much about that last ejection in a game-deciding series, like a series
game deciding, not series deciding.
Yeah. You're right. Referees need to let that go. By the way, they need to let that. That was not. Yeah, that was. The NBA is gonna talk to its referees over the offseason. Just a side note about that, because you don't lose your ratings and lose an MVP to a questionable flagrant 2. Off my soapbox. I don't want to go down that road too much. It's done. It's over. Past. But
Nuggets are gonna lose the series. So
Yeah, they were going to lose anyway. So
it was the wrong call. It was a stupid call, but the Nuggets didn't show up.
No. Group of death here, though. Group of death. France, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary. Portugal ended up dropping that game to Germany, which was, man, that was a crazy game. A lot of scoring in that one. You want to see, obviously offense in that game, and you got it. That was for sure a highlight game. Did you catch any of that game, Scotty?
I only caught the highlights. I did not see the game live.
Yeah, it was.
But I saw all the goals.
It was a crazy game. Of this, I mean, obviously Portugal. I've never
Portugal's in trouble.
Yeah, I've never really believed in Portugal, really, ever. I mean, even though they have Cristiano Ronaldo, he's like a one-man show over there.
They clearly should make the top 16, but they're in a division. Now they face France, and France is mad because they played an awful game against Hungary in a tie. France just didn't show up against Hungary after the big win against Germany. And now they face a Portugal team. If Portugal loses against France, I don't know. We'll see what shakes out with the group stage and the top 16, but they may not make it, which they should. That's ridiculous. Like this group is insane. Like if you look at FIFA rankings, actually Portugal's ranked 5th in FIFA rankings,
which is high for them.
Germany is ranked 12th, which is stupid.
I think the rankings are really off there.
No one believes that Germany is the 12th best team in the world at all. No one believes that. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what like they put into these rankings to make that the case. Like Mexico's ranked 11th and Germany's ranked 12th. And Mexico just lost the U.S., so I guess the U.S. is better than Germany.
And Mexico,
I'm calling it right now.
And Mexico came in playing in front of fans because of their anti-racial chant or anti-LGBTQ chanting, which, by the way, is I'm not supporting it. I don't, but like it's just like, come on, man, like. This is it's not a new thing. It's been an issue for a long time. But Mexico, maybe we'll talk about that in our viewers' choice. But yeah. Come on, it's kind. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch it. In the chat, that ref sucked. Refs sucked this playoffs. Scotty was actually mentioning that the refs haven't been bad in a couple of these series, in a couple of these deciding games.
I only said one game. I said the Nets Bucks game 7 in the fourth quarter. I didn't catch all the game, but that fourth quarter in overtime, I really, really appreciated it that the refs didn't blow their whistle a lot, let both teams play, let them get after it. There was a lot of contact on both sides that could have been called. And it was really fun to watch. Like, let's not just bail out. Mayday in the chat. Chris, don't get canceled now. We're not gonna cancel him. We're gonna protect him. He's gonna be fine. The refs in this. Listen, I didn't see the whole Atlanta Philly game. I watched bits and pieces back and forth, and then some of the late fourth. And there were some calls I didn't like, but like the biggest foul in that game was late in the stretch where they fouled Horter on the head on that 3, down 1. And it was a foul. He swiped him across the head. I talked about it live. Like a really, really stupid play by Philly to foul him on a shot that was never going in. And that turned it from a 1-point game to a 4-point game. The refs are really bad in general and don't do a lot of good and get involved too much. But for the most part recently, and certainly in that game last night, maybe not as much tonight, which they were fine, I think. I don't think that's why Philly lost. I think Philly lost because they had their second best player, Ben Simmons, shoot 4 attempts. He's a problem. He's a problem not for the other team. He's a problem for your own team that you got to figure out, and unfortunately, which is too bad because he has a really great skill set, and he just hasn't been able to develop his jump shot whatsoever. It just hasn't developed at all.
Made it in the chat. Chris, don't get canceled now. Yeah, I was about to get canceled real quick for about. I'm not. Yeah, we're not gonna touch the Mexico chant. I'm not gonna mess around with it. It's not great. It's not great, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Leave it at that. Do we have another group? We'll touch on that. I think that's it. I think that's all we have there.
The end of the groups. There's no more groups.
So
we haven't talked U.S. Open yet.
Haven't?
Oh,
yeah, no.
Slammed.
We have to.
Sorry.
No. Let's talk some U.S. Open. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. By the way, viewer's choice. We do this every Sunday. Actually, we do this all the time. But I will say, this is your chance. All of you, Action Labbers, all you lab rats out there, let's talk about what you want to talk about. Anything. Mayday's just wanting to just burn some aggression on his Sixers. You want to talk some golf, Scotty. I don't mind talking. I don't want to get canceled, so I'm not going to talk some Mexican soccer and chants and things. But all the things, this is your chance to just talk about whatever you want to talk about. So obviously, Mayday, Sixers need leukemia treatment on that cancer. Simmons, he's a problem. He's a problem for you guys for sure. We were talking about Mayday earlier. Like, he was one of the best players to come out of college from LSU. The next LeBron James. I don't know if you see him as a LeBron James. I bet you were hyped when you first drafted him. And you have a whole different look and feel about it right now. So, yeah, that's a crazy thing. But real quick, by the way, Office Nike, thanks for following. Appreciate the follow.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Give you some love. We have a new lab rat in the lab right now. Let's go. Office Nike. Appreciate it. Let's go. So we have some open news. We have a winner.
U.S. Open. I talked about this on the Wednesday show. I had 5 golfers that I liked a lot. Actually, 6, to be fair. I had 6 golfers I liked a lot, and 5 of those performed. 4 of them performed in the top 10. 5th, and 1 won. So I had John Rahm. Listen, John Rahm wasn't like a crazy pick. Of course, you're gonna pick John, coming off a Memorial where he was 6 strokes up, going into the final round and tested positive for COVID, got pulled. He wins his first major though. So this is the first major championship he's ever won. If you guys didn't watch this today, he was down to Louis Oosthuizen, going into the final few holes. He was at 4 under. Louis was at 5. Back-to-back long birdie putts from Rahm on 17 and 18 that he drained both. Super clutch to get to 6 under. Louis bogeyed 17 and then birdied 18, but it wasn't enough. A lot of guys here. I teased John Rahm. I had Brooks Koepka, who finished tied for 4th. Colin Morikawa tied for 4th. I had Xander Schauffele, who was tied for 7th, and then Patrick Reed, who I liked a lot, ended up finishing tied for 19th. So 5 of my 6 golfers finished in the top 20 of a field of 156. Unfortunately, other golfer Tony Finau did not make the cut, but he was viewed taping up his wrist in the first round, mid-round, so I don't think he was healthy. I think he was broken in some regard. He was injured. He wasn't himself because him at Torrey Pines, which is the tournament they played, the course they played out in San Diego, he's been dominant because they play there every year, actually, outside of the U.S. Open. But this was a super fun U.S. Open, tight throughout. Yep. We had a sweet top 9, last 9 holes. We had a ton of big names with John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, Rory, and then Bryson DeChambeau. And I say DeChambeau. I know it's DeChambeau, but I like to call him DeChambeau. And I talked about on the Wednesday show how mentally fragile that guy is.
You did.
I talked about it.
You brought it up.
I talked about it. And here he was, headed to the back 9 at the U.S. Open, 5 under, and leading the tournament.
Choked it away.
Spoiler alert, he finished tied for 26th at 3 over par. He shot 8 over on the final 9 holes. Like, that was something, like, if I did that, I'd be like, not a great 9, but I don't hate it. Like, 8 over in 9 holes is insane for a golfer. He went bogey, then he had I believe a triple and a quad. He had a quad, which was my favorite.
Oh no!
Mayday, don't worry. Bryson is literally my least favorite golfer on tour right now, so I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just telling you what happened today. I'm telling you that this man imploded on the back 9, and I love every part of it. He was a disaster. He was a mess. He couldn't make a shot to save his life. Listen, I don't like a guy that will just bomb the ball and not care where it goes. I hate a guy that will not get... Listen, when he misses, he either hits a fairway or he misses it by 100 yards, which means he's in the area in a tournament where like the audience has been and the crowd has been, where it's trampled down, so the rough's not that bad. And he probably has a good lie. Because if you miss it in the normal rough that everyone else misses it in, he's going to be screwed. But he either makes it in the fairway or he misses so badly that he's in good shape. Ugh. Mayday. Mayday, I can't. Boo Koepka. All I wanted this tournament, I guarantee, Mayday.
Yes.
Let's make a wager right now. And I don't care what we bet. If Brooks and Bryson are ever paired up again, which they will be at some point.
They need to be. We talked about this on a previous show. We were like, they need to be, like, that would be must-see TV for golf. And golf needs must-see TV.
I guarantee that the fragile Bryson will be a disaster in that round, and Brooks will absolutely beat him in that round of golf. So the next time they are paired up, I guarantee I would bet $1 million on Brooks Koepka finishing that round better than soft, fragile, but hey, I'm super big and I can hit it super far, but not straight ever, Bryson DeChambeau. And I also hate how he putts because his arms are like too big, so he just is so rigid and it's like super weird to watch. I don't like him at all. Bryson is my least favorite golfer. Congratulations on the +8 on the back, Mayday. I didn't know you were a Bryson fan. That just makes your day even worse. But now I feel less bad for you because you support Bryson DeChambeau.
DeChambeau, man. I mean, crazy. By the way, Office Nike, I saw you hit us with the follow. Appreciate it. By the way, where are you at? Where you live? We'd love to get an idea. We have Mayday from Philadelphia. We have a Minnesota fan. We have a Manchester in England fan. We have all sorts of across the country, by the way. So, Office Nike, I'd love to hear. If you're a local here, we're here in Denver, so we're big Colorado fans. Unfortunately, Scott's a Chiefs fan, even though he loves all other Colorado sports. So there's a lot of different, We got a whole nationwide thing going, but Office, let us know where you're at so we can, have some fun with it a little bit. By the way, Mayday, boo, Scotty. I knew you were a snake with Machokes and Dallas.
I'm not sold on Manchokes. Let's settle down there. But no. Cowboys are my number 2. I'm going to stick there. Your Eagles are going to be a disaster. Please keep watching Mayday. Let's have some banter back and forth because this is fun. But you supporting Bryson is just I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
He's a snake in the grass, Conor McGregor.
I'm not I'm telling you how I am. And I don't know. Listen, I think if you would have like a nationwide vote of people who watch PGA Tour, who do you choose as like who you'd like more between Brooks and Bryson? I think at least 2/3 would take Brooks, no doubt. Bryson's kind of sucks, Mayday. Why don't you just come to the light side? At least Brooks finished 2 under after starting the day even. Brooks finished 3 over after starting the day, 3 under par. So he kind of sucks in general. Just calling me a snake. Tell me why I'm a snake. Like Brooks has won 4 major championships. Bryson's won, I believe one. So he's got big arms.
I love the snake emotes.
He can hit it far. Yeah, like he's calling me, Mayday.
If you
Mayday,
were,
you're making. I'm trying to help Mayday. I'm trying to, like, he's a fan of Philadelphia teams. So at least in golf or something like that, he can pick someone that's a responsible choice that can win. But instead, he chooses Bryson. Don't do it, Mayday. Don't put yourself through that pain. The guy was leading going to the back 9 today and shot 8 over par in the last 9. Come on.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong though, Mayday. Scott does get rattled quickly when you call him out on certain things. So you're getting this a little bit. I just
know when I'm right. I know when I'm right, and when I'm trying to help a young soul like Mayday, I'm trying to help him.
We're taking you under our wing, By the way,
I just don't want him to feel the pain again.
I don't accept Dallas fan helping me. Okay. Yeah. No. I mean,
that's fair. Listen, hang with your Eagles. That's your hometown team. Just stop with the Bryson nonsense, because it will let you down time and time again.
By the way, Mayday, the Avs are out, so your number 2 team in the NHL is done. So, right now we were talking about the Canadians and the Golden Knights. Canadians lost tonight. We're trying to figure out whether or not Golden Knights were for real after going down 2-1 in that series. So there's that. Scotty is a broken wing. That's the problem. You're broken wing, Scotty.
I feel pretty good with where everything's headed right now.
Chris, you're trying to bring me to the dark end, Mayday. You're trying to bring me to the dark side on this one. You know what? It's scary.
Let's go, guy that was leading and shot 8 over on the last 9.
So
go ahead, Chris. Say that out loud.
You know what?
I'd like to record that, actually.
You know what's hard for me right now is I'm not a Bryson fan necessarily either. So I just love Koepka's, like, because again, just for you, Mayday, because I know you've had a rough day.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I know you've had a rough day. And I need you to get a nice pick me up. So Koepka cracks me up with how he handles things, and I've told you, Scotty, I like Koepka a little. I'm like that mother that's like in between 2 kids who are
After saying this, you can't like Koepka ever again.
Man, Mayday, you're putting me in a bad situation here. Because I want to support you. I kind of like Koepka.
Yeah, everyone likes Koepka. Nobody likes Bryce. Mayday, Mayday in the chat. Tell us what traits about Bryson's personality you like. Like, what do you like about him?
Sorry, Mayday.
Is it just as like the fact that he hits it really far? Is that what you like? Like, and that's fine if that's what you like. I'm just trying to figure out why you like Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh man.
Right, baby, Koepka. I literally watch Bryson like pout after he missed putt after putt yesterday. He was just like, what happened? No. But yeah, Koepka's the crybaby.
Oh man, this is wild. This has been a fun show. Scotty. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. I'm glad it's Mayday. By the way, we missed you on the last show. I think you popped in for a little bit, maybe or maybe not. But it's good to have you back. We have a big show coming up. You're here on Wednesday, right, Scotty?
Absolutely.
You're on a streak, man. You're rolling through. Woo!
Just keep it rolling,
By the way, Mayday, and everyone else in chat, I hope you guys had a fantastic Father's Day. We mentioned it at the top of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed your Father's Day, had a good, day of relaxing, enjoying the fathers in your lives, right? Order some fries with the salt of Scotty.
Just gonna everything Mayday says tonight. I'm gonna take with a grain of salt. He's not mad at me. He's mad at the Sixers.
He's mad at he's taking out all of his aggression, and that's fine.
He's mad at Ben Simmons, and he's taking it out on me.
Man, Ben Simmons, that contract. When I looked at that contract, I wasn't, and you said the same thing. We were surprised at how bad some of the contracts for the Sixers are in trouble moving forward. Mayday, I'm sorry for what you have to deal with moving forward, because there's some challenges. There's some challenges with the Sixers and their roster and their contracts, and they're what, $11 million over the cap? You mentioned earlier.
Yeah, like between Harris, Simmons, and Embiid, they're
three guys
paid like 110, 115 million between the three of them.
Yeah,
pretty wild.
And then you got some more to read in the chat there, Scott.
Yeah, he keeps talking about Bryson being Koepka's daddy, but I would love to have an example because Bryson has won one major, Koepka has 4. Koepka finished ahead of him in this tournament. Like, tell me what happened where Bryson is Koepka's daddy, because I believe Koepka is in fact Bryson's daddy.
Just for you, Mayday, I know you've had a rough night, man. This would make your night, and I want to make your night.
He doesn't mean it.
Let's go, Bryson. Let's go. Come on.
You're such a sellout. You're such a sellout. It's embarrassing.
Oh, man. I did it for... Hey, Mayday is my boy. I got to give him some love in the chat. You know, hey. Family first. Yeah, hey. Oh, and then Deb just chimes in. Don't do it. Family first.
Everyone's disappointed in you. I hope you're happy.
Hey, chat's pulling me in so many different directions. I don't know where to go. I mean, you know, I have my affiliations, but Mayday's had a rough night. I just want to, you know, make him feel better. You know, like the Philadelphia 76ers losing that game. Man, I just don't know where to go.
Mayday, just don't support shitty teams and shitty golfers, and then you'll be fine.
Love it. Hey, we're you know, we've had a lot of fun tonight. This is, I mean, I don't know what it is, Scotty. We've been getting more and more, like, the streams just keep getting more and more fun, right? We get a couple more followers here and there. You know, obviously, Office Nike, thank you for following. You know, we had Beat Bop in Facebook, 666 last week. We're going international with our followers, by the way. We had 666 from Manchester, England, who's, you know, by the way, you know, we've missed him on last couple, but was amazing. Man, we've had a lot of fun over the last few streams, and we want to keep this train rolling. We're going to be back here on Wednesday, Scotty, strong. We're going to have top stories. There's a lot of top stories going to be popping up. We're going to bring back Fact or Fiction here on some big-time stories as well. I mean, that might be... We said this was our best show. That might be our best show. That might top this one. Who knows?
This one's going to be tough to beat, but I think Wednesday will beat it. I feel good about that.
Chat, Mayday, past your bedtime. It is late on the East Coast, by the way. What is it? 11:49. Scott, I mean, Mayday. School's out, by the way, right? Mayday, you're out of school. No more school, right? You're out for the summer. Let's see, Deb. Stay out of this. Chris better than Scotty. At least he's loyal with his hometown team.
Is that a Chief shot? Because I was born in Kansas City, so I'm confused by that one. Mayday.
Mayday, you're out for the summer. There you go.
It is summer, so congratulations. But I was actually born in Kansas City and held with my team throughout life when Kansas City was not good.
But
the Broncos were better. And now we've just won 11 straight against Denver, and it's embarrassing.
Well,
to even watch at this point.
when we get Aaron Rodgers, that's going to change.
It won't, actually. We're still better. Even if you get Aaron Rodgers, we're better.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Chief shot. I was born in Kansas City. What do you mean the hometown team? I'm a fan of the hometown team because I was born in Kansas City. They have one other team, the Royals, but I happen to work for a baseball team in Colorado, so I'm going to support that one. Mayday. Go Broncos.
Oh, Mayday!
It's so embarrassing watching you
Mayday.
Sell your souls on shitty teams.
Let's go, Mayday.
Or shitty golfers.
See, Mayday, we're connecting right now. Chris and Mayday have a little connection going right now.
You both should be embarrassed for what's occurred tonight and what you've said publicly on the World Wide Web.
When the Broncos... Me and Chris...
Keep in mind, I just said the Chiefs have won 11 in a row. The last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs was in the Obama administration. Obama was the damn president the last time the Chiefs lost to the Broncos.
You're talking about recent shit. Let's talk about old school. Like, hey, Broncos got the championships. You know,
Oh yeah, you got one more Super Bowl. Let's let it ride. But overall, the Chiefs have won the head-to-head matchup quite significantly. So let's slow your roll on that. You got one more Super Bowl. We all know the Chiefs will surpass them soon. So hang on to that, Chris. Like, you and Mayday are you sound desperate tonight. You sound sad and desperate.
Mayday, we're on the same boat, man. I love you. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're supporting those Broncos as a number 2. Are the Broncos your number 2? Let me know. Let me know.
That would make sense because he loves failure. Actually, there wouldn't even be expectations with the Broncos, so it wouldn't be failure. It'd just be like, yeah, they just kind of suck.
They're not making it 12. The Chiefs are collapsing. It sounds like you don't count rings, Scotty.
Okay. Sounds like another wager headed to the first time the Chiefs and Broncos play this year, Mayday. Sounds like Mayday might have to shave his eyebrows if he has them still.
Jags, then Broncos. Oh wait, the Jags all of a sudden make an appearance in this conversation.
You must be a Tebow fan. Oh boy, Mayday.
That all
I
of a
don't
sudden,
even know where to begin.
We're all over the place here tonight. But yeah. You know what, Mayday, we love you so much, man. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Scotty and I, we love all of our favorite people in the chat. Mayday, Deb, all of you guys. Office Nike, thanks for the follow tonight. It means a lot to us. Hope you're here for the rest of it. Rachel, thanks for popping in early on in the stream. Mayday, Clemson for life. Hey, got to go to the SEC, you know?
Oh, that's why the Jags. Okay.
Oh, yeah, because you got that new cool QB down there. God, we got football coming up, Scotty. Football soon.
Oh, it's coming, and I'm so hyped.
Oh, man, we have a lot coming up on the football side of things, too, man. We can't wait. We're going to preview the NFL season coming up. We have so many big shows on the horizon. So if you're here and you're watching, whether that's Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, hit that follow button so you know exactly when we're going live. We have so much to bring you guys, and we love each and every one of you. You know, every one of you are part of our family. So even though we give Mayday a bunch of shit, or Scotty does, I should say, you're still part of
it all.
It's like that child that you like. You know, you just want to do better sometimes, or you love so much, and you know. But obviously, Mayday, you're my number one child tonight for loving the Broncos tonight. Broncos Eagles Super Bowl incoming. Boom, love it. See, we want more.
I will literally wager. You just pay me $10, and I'll pay you $1 million if that happens. You just have to pay me 10.
I'm telling you, we love our Action Lab family. All of our Action Lab rats in the chat, in the followers. We love each and every one of you. So keep it up. Mayday, love you. Deb, love you. Rachel, everyone else. 666, everyone, all of our followers. Sosa. Jesus, Manning Fresh. Manning Fresh hasn't been in a while. I mean, all of you guys. We love all of you guys. So keep it up. We'll see you back here Wednesday. We are going to get you through your week. Sunday is in the books. We're starting on fresh Monday. go into Monday strong, guys. Go into Monday strong. Feel good about your Monday workday. And we're going to hit you up halfway through the week with top stories, we might do some you want to do some fact or fiction on Wednesday, Scotty? I mean, we have a lot to bring to you guys, so
we can do that.
Let's mix it up, man. Let's mix it up. Have some fun. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. Mayday just closing us out here. Scotty must have been in the lab too long because he's crazy with Brooks.
Just trying to figure out how Brooks finished compared to Bryson. I'm just trying to understand that.
Yeah, love it. So, all right, Mayday, have a great week, man. We'll see you here Wednesday. Everyone else who's watching, who may not be in the chat, we want to see you in the chat next time. We want to see all the love, we like to have some fun, have a conversation, have a good time. So we will see you back here Wednesday. Get you through your week. Love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you Wednesday. Have a great night, guys.